All right, guys, welcome back to Weissworks. We're going to be working on the Mk4 Jetta today. And so we're going to talk about what we're trying to get into this episode. We're going to get the battery tray and hopefully battery cables all routed and done. And then we're going to drop the engine.
Well, we're waiting on the bolts for the transmission.
They should be here tomorrow. They won't be in tonight's portion, but they'll be in this episode.
Yeah, this episode for sure. We'll have the transmission mounted up to the engine.
Mm-hmm.
We've done some calculations. The mounts for the Mk4 should work perfectly fine. We're gonna have to grind down the one triangle stub on the bottom side of the mount for the passenger side.
Engine side, whichever side that is.
Yeah, timing belt side. Well, it would be a timing belt side for a 180, but time and chain side for a 2.0 turbo. Get that set in place. Battery box, cables, and then finish up the interior. The seats are still on the way. We're still kind of up in the air about which ones we want to get, but
NRGs or the plaids.
The plaid seats we're looking at are pretty badass.
They're super Mark 7 plaid-ish style.
Yeah,
but more racy.
They'll fit the car. They'll fit the build.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much what we got going on, and we'll go over a few things we've been working on in the midst of trying to get parts and everything together for that car. So in the middle of all the other stuff we had going on, I just got back off vacation. Chili's been out here busting his tail, getting his car worked on and finishing up some of the customer cars. But we're working on a Mark 7 motor, which you can watch in our soon enough in our other...
Probably about the same time this video drops.
Yeah, probably at the same time. We're doing a complete rebuild on a 3rd Gen TSI. And here's what we got so far on that. So we got the cylinders honed out. This engine, we ended up scoring the whole thing in pieces for $500. The dude shattered a piston. There was one mark at the bottom of the... Actually, yeah, two marks in the bottom of the cylinder.
One was still fixable.
Yeah, there was a mark right here. It was very light. That came out with one pass on the hone.
Yeah.
And then there was one on this side that took a couple passes, but it finally came out. And then cylinder 1, 2, and 3 were all in good shape, but did it for safe precaution. And then we're waiting on the full rebuild kit to come in for this. But yeah, like I said, this is going to be in its own set list or own episodes.
Its own playlist.
Yeah, its own playlist.
I started a playlist for the Mk4.
So
I don't know if you put the other videos in there.
Not yet. We can do all that. Yeah. But yeah, if y'all want to go on this build, I'm gonna go through everything that needs to be done, just like my first TSI video I did, which we were definitely unexperienced when we did it. But yeah. All right, so we got the mount bracket we've been waiting for. Got all the hardware. We had to go to one of my boys' house, actually who we got the trans from. He had the mount, but all the threads were stripped out on the top, so we had to get all those fixed. Those are taken care of now. We got the new Sachs clutch set up, already mounted and installed. The new rear main seals installed. Got the new, well, not new, but found the motor mount bracket I need for the passenger side. This is a notch we're talking about where we have to cut it out. Either cut this side out a little bit more of a V, or trim the mount side of the Mk4 mount. The Mk4 comes down a little bit further. All right, so we got most of the trunk lining back installed. We're waiting to put this back in until we get the amps and everything put back up on the shelf. Chili's getting ready to put the riv nuts in place for the battery box in the back corner, and then off to run the wiring. I think what we're gonna do is tuck it behind the box like you would see in the regular Mk4, and then we're gonna follow the wiring up over the shock tower, run it down the driver's side of the car where all the main harness and the airbag controllers and everything are on the driver's side. And on the back 2 holes, closest to the outer portion of the car, we are going to have to put 2 washers to level it, but it's, for the most part, the actual metal is pretty flat.
I did them all wrong. Yeah, that one's getting into chunk. Stay there.
Yeah, I'd see.
There's something under there.
I think you broke the bit.
Hit something.
Oh, yeah. Look at the pinch welds. There's a second plate of steel right there. So you have to go through both plates. Alright, so we got the holes drilled and the new riv nuts inserted. We end up having to pull the battery box forward about 1 inch, which isn't that big of a deal. We're gonna drill one more hole right here for the battery ground. Just gotta clean up the paint a little bit. And we're gonna show you how this box fits.
We're going.
Snug. Cool. Pull it back out. We'll get the battery cable ran, and then
see how it fits first.
with the battery.
Hold that, and then we'll make sure the cable actually fits in there good.
Obviously, when we do this, we will be using the AGM battery. This is just for testing.
Testing. Put my hands in the way. There we go.
Just like that. Right in the center of the center of both of them.
You got a good spot for it?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, let go. Yeah, making a mess. Pull it out, pull it out, pull it in, pull it out. What size do we want for that ground? I'll just take the cable and get one. All right, guys, we got matting drown holes drilled. We got to find the last 2 holes. And we put this tray down, and then we're gonna mount the tray, possibly for the last time. Having trouble finding the hole. There you go. Battery?
Yep. This is a H6. We actually need a H5.
Yeah, that one's a little big.
Fucking perfect.
Mint. Look at that. Look at that. We're weird. An OEM camera. It's got an OEM sticker. OEM plus
that we
swap.
Can't see.
OEM plus swap.
And then we're going to put the Mark IV regular battery box on top of it. Run the fuse box on top of it for all our amps and everything in the back.
Mm-hmm. And
sweet. Now we'll finish up the trunk setup and then we'll move on to the transmission and then get the install.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. I know we said we were going to do the harness next, but we got to get the engine out of the way. So we're going to go ahead and tackle the transmission. We all new hardware from the dealer, so I don't feel like hunting for it. I wanted to be sure we all had the right sizes for all these things.
And we didn't have them all.
Yeah, we had her missing a couple of them.
Huh?
You want to hold on to the back of that motor?
Yes, sir.
As we know, that one's going to be the back.
These are the two. That's this dude here. Yeah. And that's the one over there. Do these have the same gearing as the Mark 6, you think?
Probably a little better.
I think it's okay.
That's something you figure out.
Put it on my chart.
If anybody knows that answer, shoot us a message.
Word. Comment. Pretty good.
Which one's that?
This one.
We're missing one. We're missing one back bolt. That's right there. That one too. So the last two, don't get to them.
Hoist the.
These on the other side. All right, so the Mark IV 6-speed trans bolts right up to the TSI. We use the TSI clutch. Let us get the hoist and everything up and get this thing in the air. We'll get the last two bolts in, and then we'll get it in the car.
All right. See if Ryan can cut straight. You're hitting the bikes. Mint. All right, let's go see if it fits. Pretty. Are they the same shape?
Yeah. That's what I want to see. Full contact.
Mm-hmm.
We are good.
Perfect. All right, put that back in. All right, guys. Next day here. We're about to. There goes the car.
Sorry about the.
Your car sounds terrible.
Sorry about the lunchboxes down the street.
We're gonna get the engine set in here, and then so we can start getting everything around it fitted up.
Yeah.
Ready to go?
Yeah, let's get it moved in.
All right.
Why?
the same. Those are the same ones.
All right. Oh, so you got two that match. Looks a lot better. Four threads, man. That's all it takes.
Yeah. That was way too long.
Yeah.
All right. Linked up.
Loosen up just a hair.
They are. Right there. Move your hand. Ish.
Right there. Pop that rear one. Engine's in the bay. It sits a lot lower than we were expecting. But when we look at the oil pan, it's about the same height as a 180. It's actually a little bit higher based on the oil pan to a 180 oil pan to that 6-speed. And it's a steel bottom pan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all the mounts bolted right up. The only issue we had on the passenger mount, we had to use the Mark 4 bolts. We had all Mark 5s, so that was definitely wrong. The driver's side, we were able to use the Mark 5s, and they set correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So all in all, the dimensions of it are about the same. Actually, the only few things we see so far, the power steering line on that goes across the rack up to the power steering bottle, the return line, does make contact with the turbo a little bit, but nothing that we won't have room to manipulate it a little bit and get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
The clearance up front is perfect for the intake. Plenty of room for the radiators, the piping. And plenty of room for a downpipe. Only thing we're seeing with the downpipe, with where the positioning of the tunnel is, it's going to be a hard bend from the downpipe up to the turbo.
It'll be a U-bend.
It'll be almost a U-bend.
And then, yeah. There you go. Now you can just start here.
So the few things we're working with now is power steering. The ccta, the CBFA never came with the power steering pump. We did some looking around through the junkyards. We found out that the CAEB out of the Audis,
the A4s,
09 to 13 or 14, something. They have a power steering pump. The bracket's a little bit different, but it bolts up 100%. It'll accept it'll accept the coupler for the water pump. It'll accept the oil cooler as if it was factory.
The only thing it changes is it puts the power steering pump in the AC compressor spot.
Correct. So we won't be able to run AC at this time.
We're working on stuff, seeing how far we want to do, how much time we have, how far this progresses.
So we're gonna end this video with this. The next video, we're gonna start working on getting the wiper linkage out, get the ECU out, get all the old 180 harness out, and start going through the harness for reverse lights, starter, and anything else that we can retain from the factory 180 harness. All right, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe. Catch you in the next one.
See you guys.